What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog. Welcome to our channel. Today we are covering Surge 19, everything from the defense to the offense, but we're going to have video breaking down every single player from this class. Some of them you've met already, some you haven't. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Big Dog, what's going on? How's it going, baby?
Good. Excited, ready to get this going. Trying to give people even more content, introducing everybody to the 2019 class. For those of, because I know everybody sort of got an idea already about Zion Nelson, Jeremiah Payton, and Jafari Harvey, because those were the three early enrollees. But we want to go over, and of course, Tate Martell and KJ Osborne and Tommy Kennedy, and Asa Martin, who were the transfers already there. But wanting everybody to know all the 2019 Surge 19, and did some video clips to go over strengths and weaknesses, and we're actually going to break it up in two shows, in defensive and offensive. And please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please comment and let us know what you think and the things that you want to see. We've been wanting to do this recruiting breakdown of the whole 2019 class for a few weeks. We've been talking about that and getting ready to get it started.
Yeah. And I want to say something to the people that have, supported us thus far. I mean, the support that we've received in such a short period of time has been amazing. So thank you for, the guys, for the likes, the subscribers, and the comments. For those of you that are commenting on our videos and giving us your feedback, we really do appreciate it. And we're trying to stay on top of that, to stay engaged with you guys. But yeah, today I'm really excited because we're going to be showing video and breaking down. Instead of just hearing us talk, you're actually going to see the players of Surge 19. So something that we're really, really excited about. Definitely.
All righty. One thing I did want to mention, though, is that it's twofold. This comment is twofold. Number one, it's a comment about Manny and what he has done. Again, exceeds expectations. When he took over, and everybody remember, he took over right after that horrible loss to Wisconsin in the Pinstripe Bowl, and all the decommitments and the horrible recruiting class, and Manny with the transfer portal, because people still talk about the 2019 class, and they say, well, it was a below average class, but Manny did a good job on the portal. That's not the whole story. The whole story is if you include those transfers and you give them points the way you do high school recruits, Miami's class would have been a top 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jalen Phillips, number 1 recruit of the whole 2017 class. Trayvon Hill, KJ Osborne. You name it, Chigozie.
Tate Martell. Regardless of if, he ends up being a quarterback or not, that was one of the, the highest touted quarterbacks coming out of high school, just a couple years ago. So, yeah, when you add in the transfers, that just it boosts the recruiting class to incredible heights. So, the fact that we're in totality ranked so low, I guess, not high, so low, it's just not realistic when you take into consideration all the transfers that came in.
And that's the thing, is I think even though people realize what Manny has done in the portal, people don't realize that the whole point of recruiting is addition of talent.
Right.
How do you get talent into your team? Well, the portal is another device to get that talent.
Yeah.
And when you factor in the portal, Miami's class is not only top 10, it's top 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I think, in fact, 24/7 had an article. They haven't talked about it in a couple of months, but they had an article stating just that if we would have gotten Trayvon Hill, which we did, and Jalen Phillips, that it would make our class a top 3.
Yeah.
And that's really, when you look at the amount of talent that we added, it's every bit of that.
Absolutely.
So we do want to, get everybody up to speed, the players that they haven't had a chance to see yet, and go over them all. But again, amazing job by Manny, because like I said, when he took over, all that good high school talent a lot of it was gone already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody taking advantage of the early signing period,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is from the December 19th to the 21st.
Yeah.
So when Manny took over at the very end of December, a lot of these guys were gone already.
Yep.
So he said, well, I can just blame it on Rick and say, well, this is a new era, or I could actually do something actively about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he chose to become the king of the portal.
Mm-hmm.
7 of the top 17 transfers went to Miami.
Absolutely.
Okay. And out of the 9 transfers that we got in, you could say Tommy Kennedy, okay, hasn't really panned out.
Right.
But the only other one was Lewis Headley because he's a punter.
Right.
And even then, he's a 3-star.
Yeah.
Because he was arguably.
He's probably a 5-star when you consider the fear factor, and that's probably not one of those guys that you want to fight with. So he would definitely be ranked. If you got to rank, players in terms of how much they might be able to fight, I think Headley would probably be a 5-star for sure.
I'm just waiting for Headley to get rushed, and they're trying to block the punt, and he just tells them stop.
Yeah.
And they just stop and let him kick.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. They start heading back to the sideline.
That's it.
And we're gonna get into the 2020 recruiting class. Some big news today. Van Dyke, quarterback, 4-star. That's something that we're definitely gonna be getting into, but we'll probably get into that when we're covering more the 2020 recruiting class. Today we're gonna focus on Surge 19. So you want to go ahead and jump into it already?
Let's jump into it and just let them know we're gonna cover the all the additions to the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. Then we'll cover the offensive side of the ball in a separate show. And then somewhere down the line, we're going to do some mash of the 2020 recruiting class, the guys that we already have committed, the guys that we're looking to get, with some Dolphin news and some NBA playoff news. So have all that stuff in the future episodes. But let's go ahead and let's get it started.
Yeah, let's start with the defense. Obviously, we'll start with the defensive line and then work ourselves back to linebackers and then the secondary.
All right, let's start off with the defensive ends. Now we're going to start off with Trayvon Hill.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
And let's get it going. All right, you guys are going to see the thing I like with Hill is his explosiveness, and he's tenacious.
Yeah.
And you're going to see he has a quick first step. He's about 6'5", 245. Look at this play. Look at that play on the interception.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a replay here coming up.
Quick reaction.
Well, and the thing is, one of the things that they tell you is you never cover an area. You put yourself in the middle of the play. Mm-hmm. There, he couldn't get to the quarterback. So what does he do? Drops back and actually picks the ball off.
Absolutely. No, and there you see what I like about Trayvon is, he has a mean streak to him. And that's something that we've seen in Virginia Tech, and he looks like a Cane through and through. He really does.
He does, and he plays with a high motor. He's a guy that, listen. The knock on him and the reason why he transferred is, but apparently the problem wasn't just Trayvon, because if the problem was just Trayvon, he'd be the only one transferring.
Right.
And you had a lot of players bailing out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
So something was going on there with the coach. Not new. He's been there now for a little bit.
Yeah.
But with Fuente and the whole, something was going on last year. Yeah. Virginia Tech, underperformed big time. That's when they talked about Trayvon Hill being dismissed from the team. Yeah. And there was all kinds of issues like that. But the fact is, when you see him on the field, he doesn't take a play off. He's high motor.
So some insight on what he did there. In 30 games, he had 16 starts, 94 total tackles, 20 of which were tackles for loss, with 11 and a half sacks, and basically 2 years and change. So, I mean, when he came in, he was top 231 with the top 247, because 247 does it different than ESPN. They have their top 247 players. So when he came into Virginia Tech, he was 231. But I think he overperformed, because that's definitely at Virginia Tech. So the speed's there, the tenacity, is there, and so I think that was a key pickup for Manny to bring him in for sure.
one of the words that scouts love is they say a twitchy athlete, that
Right.
an athlete is twitchy. Look at Trayvon Hill's film. That's a twitchy athlete.
Yeah, he's a twitchy dude for sure.
And he has a quick get off, and he's a guy that, like I said, high motor, high get off. Not the biggest guy in the world for defensive end. I mean, he's 6'5", but he's somewhat light. They list him at 245. He actually looks a little bit heavier to me. He looks
I'm
like
sure maybe he was 245, like when maybe he got into. I mean, I don't know if that's what he was at when he went into Virginia Tech, but yeah, he doesn't look like he's 245 anymore. That's for sure.
No, he looks like he's probably closer to 260.
Yeah,
but again, he's still a twitchy athlete. He's a guy who's going to depend on, he's not going to necessarily overpower tackles,
right.
but he's going to use his athleticism and his speed to get around them.
Absolutely.
So that's a guy I think is going to end up backing up Garvin on the right defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a guy who's definitely Power 5 starter level. So,
and he brings that experience, which I love. You know, you see potential from young guys, especially the next one we're going to talk about, Harvey. You see the potential there, but they're still young, so they still have to learn to play at the college football level. You know, Trayvon already has that. So the fact that he brings in that experience, on top of the talent, I mean, it's gonna be really big, and it's gonna be beneficial to this team for sure.
That's I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah,
that's perfectly said. And we're going to need that experience, and at the same time, I think, like you mentioned, just the fact that he has that U mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You see when he gets to a tackle, his idea is not just bringing the guy down, is causing some punishment.
Yeah.
So that's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, that's definitely a guy that fits the DNA for this defense. So let's I just mentioned Harvey, so let's go ahead and get into Harvey and look at some of his tape.
All right, let's get it started here. Speaking of twitchiness,
look at that.
You see, that's what I like about Harvey. Not just did he make the tackle, when the quarterback moves away from him, he's able to change his direction and get out there. Here's another one. He chases it down from behind.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, like those are just, short little 2 clips there, but you see, and that first one especially, he threw up the U, right after he got the sack, so that was pretty cool. But that's some of the things that we're gonna see, with these defensive ends, is that twitchiness that you talk about, and that quickness off the line, that first step, and beating their man. It's just, you see it, not just in this recruiting class, in the past as well, and that's something we've always been known for. That quickness, and tied into, like, with the size.
Well, and one of the things, and I want people to be able to differentiate this. One of the reasons why that first sack, if you look at that first sack, when he's closing in on the quarterback makes the move to backwards to his right. And Harvey's has the agility, because it's not just the twitchiness of straight line speed, is being able to have the agility when the quarterback makes a move away from you, he still chased him down.
Right.
And he was able to move to the side and get the sack.
Right.
A lot of guys on something like that, they run past the quarterback or they miss him, and then they lose contained, and the quarterback rolls out to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give up a big play.
Yeah.
So Harvey is special in that he not only has that straight line speed with the get off, he also has agility to be able to go side to side, change direction when the ball carrier or the quarterback changes direction.
Right, exactly.
So that's one of the things I love about Harvey. They have him listed at 6'4", 225.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're probably going to see him, by I would say fall, he might be in the 235 range.
Yeah, 240.
Right, probably about 250 by next year, I would think.
Yeah.
And that's when he should get a majority of playing time. I think this year the new redshirt rule. First off, I love that new redshirt rule.
Yeah, the
fact that they can play 4 games and still redshirt is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I expect Harvey. I mean, he's played so well in the spring. You got to give him playing time.
Yeah.
But we're so deep at defensive end that you wonder where that playing time is going to come. So I'm not saying for sure he's going to redshirt, not saying for sure that he's not.
Yeah.
But definitely the games that the Canes can win big, we're going to see some of Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure when we do, we're probably going to see some sacks.
Yeah, I don't see a red shirt coming, to be honest with you, because I see a lot of talent there, man. I mean, he was the 36th overall defensive end by 247, 4-star by according to 247. He chose us over schools like Georgia, Michigan, and Nebraska. The thing about Harvey, and this is why I don't think he's gonna redshirt, is because the status is still up in the air with Jalen Phillips, whether he's gonna play this year or not. So I think that whether Jalen Phillips plays this year or not, that's gonna open the door for maybe Harvey to get more snaps than if Phillips otherwise would be starting. Because I mean, when you think about it, you got Garvin and Rousseau, and then we got Trayvon, and then who's gonna be that fourth guy? So
Scott Petrin.
yeah.
I mean, that's the
That's
thing.
how deep we are, man. I completely forgot about Patchen. That's how deep we are. I forgot about Patchen. Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at Harvey.
Patchen has impressed for sure.
One of the things that, and this is something that people miss, Patchen weighs the same he did last year, but his body fat percentage is down substantially.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how hard that is to do, because if you're 6'5" and you weigh 310, you can lose fat percentage pretty quickly just by losing weight. Yeah. You get your weight down to 290 from 310, you're going to lose a good chunk of body fat percentage.
Right.
For a guy to maintain the same weight and bring his body percentage down, his body fat percentage, he's been working hard.
Absolutely. But in terms of raw talent, though, I mean, Harvey has it. And the thing is, look what Philly did with players like Nelson. So you wonder how much good weight is Harvey really going to put on with Philly. And I mean, we'll see. But it feels really good that we have that kind of depth on the line. Because I completely forgot about Patchen, man. That's how deep we are.
That's the thing. And you were talking about Phillips. I'm more or less counting Phillips out for 2019. I don't think he's going to play.
It's just weird that we haven't heard anything, though. We're gonna get to Phillips next. Looking at some of his film and talking about what happened to him at UCLA, but it's been quiet. I mean, he got on the campus recently, like a few weeks ago. So yeah, you're probably right. He might not suit up, this year, but I mean, the fact that we have a former, number one recruit in the country, I mean, on that line for next year, most likely. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see.
I actually tried to contact him to get an answer from it, but I mean, it's hard. It's hard because with the NCAA, they got so many, things that you got to be careful of that are violations and this and that. For people that don't know, Phillips had medically retired from UCLA. He had a recurring concussion issue, but then what the big thing is, he ended up getting in a scooter accident, I think it was, with a vehicle.
Yeah.
And so he had additional injuries that were non-football related.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know if he needs the season to heal up, to come back strong for 2020. If, I'm pretty sure he has a pretty good case for a waiver, I would think, if he wants to choose the waiver. We'll see.
I don't know. The fact that he, medically, retired, I think that may take him out of the chances of getting a waiver, to be honest with you. I don't think, the NCAA has proved to be lenient, especially recently, granting these waivers. But I don't see a legitimate case there for Phillips.
Well, and the thing is, we don't know if he's even interested in one, really, because, again,
he may need time. He may just need time to get his mind right, get his body, back in that kind of shape.
We don't even know. I mean, he how much. I mean, he's 6'5", 255, and when you're going to see his film clips.
Well, let's go ahead and look at it.
You want to go ahead and take a look at this?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I want everybody to see the suddenness and what he does to these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Watch how quickly he gets there, and just obliterates the quarterback.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Boom.
Look at that. It's amazing.
Look at that closing speed. Yeah.
Look at that. He gets you feel sorry for the quarterbacks when they get hit.
Yeah. So that
Seriously.
that goes to show you right there just some of the things. As a freshman, he only played in 7 games, but he did have 21 tackles, 7 of which were tackles for loss, with 3.5 sacks. And then 2018, like you said, he only played 4 games, and then he had a concussion, so that took him out for a while. And then he had that accident, and then he basically medically retired. But I mean, the talent's there, man. He wasn't he was the number one, or not the number one defensive end or the number one, because they even said outside linebacker, because of his speed and athletic ability. But he's a defensive end, not the number one defensive end in the country. We're talking about the number one overall recruit in the country. So, I mean, the talent's there for sure.
The number one player. And when you see him on film, and we just showed short clips, I had the pleasure of watching a ton of the video. Every single play is like that. Yeah. Every single play is like, well, wait a second. It looks like he's playing at a different speed than everybody else.
Right.
And when he closes violently.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no reason. It's obvious why he was the number one player in the country in 2017, because you watch video of him and it's special.
Yeah.
It's a different special than you see from other special players.
Yeah. That speed, especially, like you just see that speed when you combine, size and that kind of speed. It's no wonder he was the number one overall recruit. I mean, it's just something that it's special. It's elite. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And I sort of think that if he had any intention of playing in 2019, we would have heard something already.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's my feeling. So I'm pretty sure he's going to just take the year off and come back strong in 2020.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, in 2020, quarterbacks have to make sure their major medical is paid up, because what we're going to have going after quarterbacks is going to be scary.
Oh, absolutely.
And Jalen Phillips, hopefully, if he stays healthy, will be a huge part of that.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on to who do we got next?
We're going to Cam Williams.
Oh, okay. So this will be the last defensive end of this recruiting class.
Right. The thing with Cam, and here's the thing. I think you have some stats on Cam.
Yeah.
From Chaminade.
Yeah. 88 tackles, 23 of which were tackles for loss, 12 sacks, 1 interception, and that basically does it for his high school career there at Chaminade.
Now, Cam, we have him listed at 6'5", 215. Obviously, a guy who's going to need a year in the strength and conditioning program. The thing, and we're gonna, when we turn on the clips of him, the one thing I'll say is this: if you look at the difference between him and Harvey, straight line speed for Cam is tremendous. Okay. He's not as thick as Harvey. Harvey's more college ready.
Right.
But the thing is, with Harvey, I see more agility of being able to get side to side. With Cam, not as much. So he probably has every bit of the straight line speed that Jafari does, but definitely I don't see that agility, and you'll see him miss some tackles.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
No.
What I'm saying is, obviously, we have to see what Cam looks like after a year in the strength and conditioning program. He might be up to 6'5", 250, 260. And now he's a different type of player that could play with more power and then use that straight line speed.
Right.
So he doesn't have the same bend and as Harvey does.
That twitchiness that we were referring to when we were talking about, Harvey and Hill and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you line him up in a 40, he's probably every bit as fast as some of the elite guys. But again, it's the bend, it's the agility. I still think there's a lot of potential there because there is athleticism. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video.
Okay. So
he's number 22. There you see a nice hit there on the quarterback.
You see the speed.
Right, but you see there, he almost missed him.
Yeah.
He got him with the arm tackle.
Well, you also, I just think he doesn't. You see the speed there, but you see the speed at 215.
Correct.
Whereas in Harvey's already, up there in weight, and you still see that same speed and explosiveness. So you just wonder, how much of that speed he might lose if he gains weight. Maybe he doesn't lose any. But I mean, yeah, in that little clip you saw, he had a tough time wrapping up. So like you said, man, the speed's there, but we'll see.
That's the thing I saw with him on occasion, and you do see it on the video. And obviously, we don't want to, we have a limit on terms of how much we're going to show on each one.
Right.
But you saw that quite a bit, where he would, beeline for the ball carrier or for the quarterback, and some type of evasive move, and all of a sudden he missed or wasn't able to wrap up. Right. And that goes that side to side motion agility that we talked about.
Yeah.
With Jafari, you saw the example of that quarterback when he made a move towards the back. Mm-hmm. All Jafari did was just change angles and still nailed them.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And again, obviously with Cam, there's athleticism, so you have potential there. Yeah. What does that athleticism look like when he gains 40 or 50 good pounds?
Right, exactly.
In the strength and conditioning program.
Yeah.
Of Miami, right, with David Feely.
Yeah.
So I'll reserve judgment on Cam, because I really don't. With Jafari, I can project what I expect him to look like in a year. Mm-hmm. With Cam, I'm not sure,
because you don't see the frame necessarily, and how those extra 30 to 40 pounds are gonna tack on to the frame that you see with Cam. But with Harvey, you see that frame there, and you're like, okay, yeah, correct, I can definitely see him put in 20, 30, 40 pounds and still of muscle. So you see it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I agree.
And that's the thing. So it's not like I'm down on Cam.
Right.
It's just, what? You should take each player individually and not necessarily compare them to others. And I get that. So, right. But there's some reservation there that there isn't with Harvey. Yeah. I'll just put it that way. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Yeah. That with Cam, there is some reservation, but there is potential for sure.
And so, I want to just to comment on something that you mentioned. I know there's short clips, guys, but this is our first time doing it, and we don't want to get flagged, for using. Regardless, on the videos that you're going to be looking at, you're going to see the credit of whoever it was that we got the video from. So we're just being careful, so the some videos are going to be longer than others, some are going to be shorter. So we're just trying to be careful with that. We just started this channel. We don't want to, get flagged or anything. So we're kind of still learning the ropes and seeing exactly how much we could get away with. But yeah, we're trying to do this for you guys, so you could see the things that we're talking about. So that wraps it up for the defensive end. So let's stay on the line and start talking about the tackles.
There you go. So starting off with, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
You say it. You say it better. Go ahead.
Chigozie and Oruka.
I think you nailed it, dude.
I'm ready. Give me a job at the United Nations. I am ready.
I think you nailed it.
And Oruka.
Yeah.
Oh, now I messed it up. Okay. Chigozie, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned this. We mentioned this in the previous podcast. He's a 4-3 D tackle. Okay. He, as a redshirt sophomore in 2017, very productive player. Mm-hmm. Okay. Chip Kelly takes over at UCLA, took over at UCLA, changes and makes it a 3-4. Mm-hmm. So Chigozie was left without a home because he's 6'2", 287, I think he's listed at. Definitely not nose tackle. He's not that 320-pound run stuffer. He's a 3 technique type of tackle, penetrate, make plays.
Yeah.
And if you look at his, what was it? In 2017, he had 46 tackles, 8 for loss, 2 sacks, And like I said, that was his redshirt sophomore season. So he was
10 starts in 13 games.
There you go.
Yeah.
As a redshirt sophomore.
Right.
So he was very, very productive. I think some people had him immediately starting as soon as he got here, got to Miami. I think the emergence of Jonathan Ford, and I'm not going to say the emergence of Nesta, but Nesta showing what we expected him to show.
Exactly.
You know, with Jonathan Ford, we were starting to wonder if we would ever see it.
Right.
You know, fair or unfair. You know, we saw, I mean, Jonathan Ford has this massive 6'5", 310-pound body. I think he's down to 300.
Yeah.
Just a big, strong dude. And we knew that he had potential. And finally this year, all of a sudden, we see him step up.
Right.
At one point, I thought he was stepping up to be the backup. You know, now I think Jonathan Ford's stepping up as long as that whole wrist forearm issue is okay.
I think he'll be fine. Yeah.
Man, knock on wood. You know, it just makes me sad. You know, you and I talked about it when we watched the draft. You know, there's people that term hater is said for a good reason.
Right.
Because you and I, when we watch the draft, it's the NFL draft, we get so happy for these young guys.
Yeah.
You know, you see them crying on the phone or crying when they hug their mom or their dad. And man, that's such a cool thing to see.
You're watching like literally live, you know, the dreams of these kids come true. And
exactly.
If you're not happy for them, regardless, I mean, you know,
dude,
regardless of what school it is, if it's your rival, dude, you're seeing these kids and their dream is coming true. And especially when you take into account where they come from and how hard they've had to work to get there. I mean, it's just it's a beautiful story. It really is. I get happy for all those kids, no matter you know what school they came from.
When that kid, I think it was a kid from Michigan, that he started crying.
Yeah,
I think it was Rashawn Gary. He was the one that would start crying. Dude, my eyes got all teary eyed.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel great seeing these young guys achieve their dream. And the reason I was mentioning that was Jonathan Ford.
Right.
You know, seeing a guy work that hard, and then he always had these expectations, and then all of a sudden, wow, he's living up to those expectations.
Yeah.
And everybody, all the Miami fans started going crazy. Hey, John Ford is going to be the man this year. And now we don't know how serious that injury is. So it just breaks my heart a little that just when he's hitting his stride, boom, he has this injury.
So
From what I heard at first, it wasn't serious. So hopefully he will be there. Now, if Ford is ready, I think Ford and Nesta are the ones that are going to get the most playing time.
Yeah.
If not, Chigozie is probably going to be the one that works his way in there. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Let's take a look. So here you see,
All right, you're going to see here, and this play is actually replayed. Now you see him make the tackle. He's number 93. But now I want you to see on the replay how quickly. Oh, actually, this doesn't show the replay. No. This is going to show another play. Oh, this is when he makes the sack from the quarterback's left side.
Yeah.
Now you'll see how he gets around the block and closes in quickly.
Right.
Okay, that's the thing with Chigozie. He is a penetrating 3-technique type of guy.
Right.
This is the one you're going to actually see.
The replay. Yeah.
Now watch. See how he gets around the guy?
Yeah.
Boom, and he gets the hit on the quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Chigozie. He is a guy who penetrates, who can, you know, beat his block, has a quick get off, good closing speed. For a defensive tackle, that short area closing speed. So if whatever it ends up being, if Ford's injury is not serious, which you hope, obviously we pray it's not,
right?
Then Chigozie will probably get out of the tackles. Him and Bethel will probably get similar time. If John Ford's injury is a little bit more serious, then I'm expecting Chigozie to make a push to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
One thing I like about these transfers, man, is the experience. I alluded to it, you know, earlier on, where with Trayvon, that not only are you getting a guy that, you know, fine in Jacozy, I'm never gonna get that right. Jacozy may not have like the raw talent necessarily that some of these other guys that we talked about, you know, like Phillips and Harvey and Hill, but I mean, he's a guy that's played, you know, meaningful snaps at a big time program. So the experience is there, and that's what I love about these transfers, man. Is that yeah, they're coming in, but they're coming in with experience. So not only, you know, what they can bring to us on the field, but in the locker room, you know, bringing these younger guys along because they've been there and they've done it, and they know what it takes to succeed at the college football level. So I mean, that I just love that, man, with these transfers, that the experience and them serving as a mentor. We're gonna get into in our second video when we're covering the offense of Surge 19. We're gonna praise KJ because of what he's meant, you know, to the Paytons and the younger guys, you know, being a senior, is that he's, you know, he's really bringing these guys along and as acting as a captain, as a leader to these younger guys, and they need it sometimes. You know, you don't want to just have a bunch of young guys out there, you know, playing only true freshmen when, you know, they're just going based off raw talent, but they're not being dedicated and they're not, you know, doing the necessary things that they have to do in order to get better. So that's why I love these transfers that come in that already have experience playing, you know, college football.
Well, that's the difference. And you talked about KJ. I think I'll even go not just piggyback. I'll go one up on that. I think KJ has made a difference, not just in the receiver room, but on the entire team because of how hard he's worked.
But I think that's one of the reasons why we brought him in, because okay, Buffalo's not, you know, an Ohio State or UCLA, but I mean, they saw this guy and they saw potential there. Yeah, he's good, he has talent, but man, he's out there after practice is over, catching balls, and that's something that hopefully is going to resonate, you know, with the rest of the receivers and the rest of the team, like you said.
Yeah, how many times did we hear in spring practice, KJ Osborne stayed by himself catching balls from the jug machine?
That's my point. Right?
Tate Martell stayed throwing after practice with KJ Osborne.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I mean, that's the thing is and the way I tell people is, if you think about this, think about, you know, your regular job. Okay, you've been at it now for like 8 years. Okay, your second year on the job compared to the 5th year on the job, did you know more after 5 years than you did after 2?
Yeah, of course. That's my point.
Of course.
Right.
You were better, you were smoother. Now, add to that physical maturity, because that freshman is 18 or 19. Even if he's a redshirt freshman, he's 19 or 20. Okay, you get a guy like KJ Osborne who's 22 or 23. Okay, you get a guy like Jacozy who's probably 23.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of physical maturity and emotional and mental maturity that happens in those years.
Exactly.
And then you add to that 5 years now, because this will be Jacozy's 5th year at a major college program.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, there's not too much he hasn't seen.
Exactly. So yeah, like I said, but let's go ahead and move on to another.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Now, you're going to get to, I love my New York connection. Okay, I gotta throw this in there, and it's a full disclosure.
Yeah,
Jason Blissett and Jared Harrison Hunt are two of the, well, you know better than anybody. I love the trenches.
Yes.
When everybody follows the ball, I'm watching the trenches.
Yeah.
And these two D tackles that we picked up from New York, the New York connection, and I'm not taking anything away from Jalar Holly, because like him quite a bit also, but Blissett and Harrison Hunt, I absolutely am. I can't. It's almost like I want to put the time machine and go forward a year or two to watch them play already, because we are so deep at D tackle.
Yeah.
You know, because now if Ford is not injured, you're looking at Nesta and Ford getting the most snaps,
right? And
then Jacozy and Bethel. And then you got Jordan Miller as that 50 tackle who's going to get playing time. Okay, so I'm thinking Blissett and Harrison Hunt will not play more than 4 games. and also Holly will not play more than 4 games and they'll redshirt.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait to see what these guys will look like
Well,
a year or two.
let's the videos that obviously, you know, we don't have that much a video of them, but let's just look at take a quick look at Blissett here in
Let's take a look. Start off with Blissett.
Yeah, in one of the camps.
Okay, you're gonna see what I'm saying. Look how quickly, boom, nice spin move. That's a D tackle, folks. That's not a D end.
Right.
Now watch. Get your hands away from me.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yep.
And that's at a big time camp. Okay, watch. You saw that?
No chance. You better try to pull him by a jersey. No.
And he still got the sack.
And he still got it. So that's probably a penalty and a sack anyway. But yeah, so you see it there, man. He was the second best player in New York, the number 27 defensive lineman by 247 in the Metropolitan Independent Football League Championship. He had 9 tackles and ran for 90 yards and a touchdown.
That's right. You know what?
Okay.
Because we wanted to limit the clips. This guy played running back.
Yeah. There you go.
He's listed what, 6'4", 271 is what they have him listed at.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, you see it with the hand placement. Okay. One of the most underrated things at D tackle. I mean, I think it's not as underrated on D ends because people see it. So they know the hand placement and the hand fighting that goes on is important because that's the way you get to that quarterback. But in D tackle, it's just as important, if not more.
Exactly.
And you saw his hands. He has quick hands. He's twitchy for a big guy. He is tremendously athletic. Okay, I remember you and I talked about it. When we first got him, we were first looking at him, he was only a 3-star at that point in New York, because obviously playing in New York is not the same competition in football as it is in Florida. And then you remember I called you, I said, dude, look at this guy.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love this signing. I think he's going to be an absolute gem. Yeah. Both of them. Yeah. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Holly, because I do like Holly quite a bit too. Different type of players. Yeah. Because Harrison Hunt and Jason Blissett are bigger guys. Right. They're taller. Holly, I think, is listed at 6'2", and Jason Blissett's 6'4". Harrison Hunt is also 6'4", and it's just, I think that New York connection is going to be special. Yeah, let's look at the other one. Let's look at Hunt. Same thing. Pretty much the same camp, I believe. So yeah, let's take a look at him. No, I think Harrison Hunt. Oh, that's right. You're right. I almost put his basketball videos on here. Yeah. Because was it Harrison? No, it was El Gamal that I put the basketball. Gamal, right? Yeah. There you see Hunt. Same thing, and you saw that little nastiness at the end, right? I love that with Hunt. Get off me. Look at that. Get off me. Yep. And these guys, I mean, he hasn't even, look at that. Look at that. That guy had no chance. Yeah. No chance. You see it there with him. And another thing, we talked about Blissett being a running back. Hunt played tight end. Mind you, he only had 23 catches, but 227 yards. But he was a team captain, and I mean, he has that. You know, he has that physical, just that wow factor. You know, that agility mixed in with the strength, mixed in with the size. I mean, both of these guys have it. You know, I think a year in the strength and conditioning program, you're going to see two guys 6'4", 295, 300 pounds with tremendous quickness. Yeah. And Hunt was one of those guys that also came on a little late, because sometimes I confuse him and Gamal, because Gamal was the one that was the basketball stud, and we're going to cover him in our offensive video, because he's an offensive lineman. No. If I'm not mistaken, I couldn't find the video when I was researching it, but if I'm not mistaken, Harrison Hunt is the one that did that monster dunk on the fast break. I thought that was Gamal. No, Gamal's a pure basketball player.
Yeah.
He's 6'7". No. That the dunk, I think it went around Twitter, it became viral, it
Yeah,
went viral.
I remember the video. I just thought it
That
was
was Harrison. That
okay.
was Harrison Hunt.
All right.
Which, if you guys didn't see that, it's somewhere on YouTube. For some reason or other, I wasn't able to find it. It was a fast break, and Hunt at 6'4", 279, by the way, went up and seriously has some vert.
You're right.
And just slammed it over a dude.
Yeah, you're right.
And then there was another basketball clip where he ran the break.
Yeah.
From half court.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's a defensive tackle.
Yeah. Yep.
So whenever you hear me mention the New York connection, that's who I'm talking about. It's and no knocking out Mel Gamal. We'll talk about him afterwards when we do the offensive. But when I talk about the New York connection, it's Jason Blissett and Jared Harrison Hunt.
And Hunt actually picked Miami over Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, LSU, Michigan. So he was highly touted. So a lot of other schools, were definitely looking at him.
That whole 3-star, just forget about that 3-star.
Yeah, you don't have all those big time schools going after you if you're a 3-star. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, and I think he had it down to when he picked us. I think he had it down to Ohio State, Penn State, and us.
Yeah,
I think with his final 3. I'm not positive about that. I know Penn State was definitely ones that were fighting with us, but Harrison Hunt is incredibly athletic, as is Blissett. I love that New York connection. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh yeah,
that New York connection in 2-3 years, people are going to be saying, hey, why don't we go get some more D tackles out of New York?
But I love the fact that we did go out there and we got them. We're not just sticking, locally. I mean, it doesn't matter where you at, man. You could be in Cali, you could be in New York. We're gonna go everywhere, and that's what I love. We have to because everybody else does it, so we got to do the same thing. And
mentioned
we got both.
You mentioned the commitment for Tyler Van Dyke. Okay, yeah. I don't think we get that commitment from Van Dyke if it isn't because of the new attitude that we have in recruiting, where we're telling guys
this early in the cycle, man. This early in the cycle, we got the commitment from Van Dyke. That I think is telling in itself. I mean, for you, because it's either or you want to come here. Oh, you don't? Okay, see you later. We'll go look for somebody else. So then they're like, oh, no, okay, yeah, I want to go to your school. Yeah, I'll commit. And that's basically the attitude that we're doing. Manny said it. You could either come here and, and win national championships, or you could go somewhere else and get your ass kicked by us. So, I mean, that's what, he's proven he's doing it, dude. He's doing it.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
You want to go ahead and go to Holly?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to Holly. This is actually a video that he actually made. So if you guys want to check out, the whole video in its entirety, just, look up Jalar Holly on YouTube. And this is actually, a video that he made on his own. So let's go ahead and look at that one.
Yeah, I just like it a lot because he talks about hard work, and that's not something that's talked about enough.
Yeah.
And you're just going to see him. One of the things that as you see the video, and really, if you look at him, he doesn't look. Here you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You see penetration. He has a lot of quickness for a big dude because he's 6'2", 287 is where he's listed at.
Mm-hmm.
And really, there you see him make another play. And I'll tell you what, there's some Nesta to him. There is. And there's probably similar sizes. And he plays pretty ferociously, not as ferocious as Nesta, because not too many people are as ferocious as Nesta.
Right.
But I just like this young man from Georgia. Here we go. There you go. You see him chasing down a play, and of course throwing up to you.
Throwing up to you, baby.
Yep. So, just I'm a fan of his from that standpoint of seeing him, working hard. I think obviously he's going to be a different type of D tackle than Blissett and Harrison Hunt because he's more of the shorter, stout type of D tackle.
Yeah, because he's about 6'2", 280.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, Jess Simpson was big in his recruiting of Holly. And for those of you that didn't know, before he moved up in coaching, Jess Simpson was like a legendary high school coach in Georgia. And so he's the one that recruited Holly quite a bit.
Right.
And I think we got a good haul. I
Yeah.
think you got a really good haul with those 3D tackles, plus, of course, Chigozie as a transfer.
Yeah. For Holly had in 8 games, 22 tackles, 4 of which were tackles for loss, and he had 2 sacks. And that was, I think, on Max Prep is where I was able to find that. So I mean, we'll see. You know.
All right, you want to go ahead and move to the linebackers? Oh man, you ever notice like I have like 12 favorite players?
I know, but there's something about linebackers because look at the linebackers that we have now. So we're gonna discuss Avery Huff, but you have to love Shaq, and you have to love Pickney, and McLeod, and Avery Huff just looks like he's gonna be one of those guys for us the way Shaq, Pickney, and McLeod are. So let's jump into his video, and then we'll go ahead and
Okay, you want to do the video first?
Let's do the video first on this one.
Yeah, let's do it.
And this was on Max Prep too. Provided
Folks,
this video.
Get ready to see violence.
Yeah.
By the way, Avery played everywhere. They actually had him at St. Thomas. He played linebacker, played safety. I think he actually was listed as a safety. He played close to the line of scrimmage a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And man, he not only he's incredibly fast. Here, look at this slam. He plays with bad intentions.
Yeah.
Which is what you want in your linebackers. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. Ball pops up in the air. See ya. Take
Bye.
it for safe.
Look at that speed. Look at that runaway speed.
I'm telling you. He's listed as 6'3", 200.
Yeah.
And you remember
those tackles. Look at that. Ooh. He just finished those tackles, man.
lays them out. Boom. Okay, fine. That's a penalty. We'll take the penalty.
Well, to be honest with you, a couple of those probably were, because you know how football's getting nowadays. Where I mean, if you're too physical or if you're slamming these guys, you'll probably get flagged. So, but I love that for a linebacker at the U. I'm sorry, those are the kind of players that I like. That nastiness and finishing the freaking play, man. He's not just gonna wrap you up, to get a knee down. No. You're gonna feel the floor, buddy.
Well, and the thing is, and I want, I mentioned on one of the previous podcasts, I said I don't like comparing young players to players that have already played because it's unfair on both ends.
Right.
You're sort of disrespecting the guy who did it already.
Exactly.
And you're placing too much pressure on the young kid.
Right.
When I see Avery Huff, I see Jesse Armstead. That's who Avery Huff reminds me of. And if you remember, Jesse Armstead, when we got him, was one of the top linebackers in the country. We got him out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And Avery, well, when we had the two commitments from St. Thomas, Anthony Solomon and Avery Huff, when Anthony Solomon decommitted and committed to Michigan, I said, hey, as long as we lose, Anthony Solomon and not Avery Huff,
right?
The fact that we have him and we kept him because he's going to be one of the best in the country.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we had to pause it there for a second, but we're basically finishing up on Avery Huff, and yeah, he reminds you of Armstead, and is one of those guys that he was touted by everybody. Bama, Auburn, FSU, Georgia, LSU, Penn State, Mississippi State. I mean, everybody's. So he's one of those guys. And you were saying, now I remember basically where you left off on whether we were going to lose Solomon Thomas or Avery Huff.
No, Anthony Solomon. Solomon or
Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, that's in the Wayback Machine there with Miami.
But so yeah, like if there was one that we had to lose, we didn't want it to be Huff. I think we were both in agreement on that.
That's the thing, and that's not a knock on Solomon. It's just Huff jumps out at you, and like I said, I know it's not fair. comparing it to Armstead, a guy who had a 15-year NFL career or however long he played, but that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
That's exactly who he reminds me of. And I'll tell you right now, he might end up being one of the best special team players in his first year at Miami, because I remember Armstead, when he first got to Miami, he was playing special teams, and he was scary.
Yeah.
And I expect the same from Huff. And he's 6'3", 200. And my apologies, by the way, because the little mix-up was on my end. My youngest had a little dad emergency there. So, but he's 6'3", 200. Huff's probably gonna, grow into like 225, 230.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he's gonna be our weak side linebacker next year when Mr. Pigney is playing in the NFL.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's gonna pick up right where Pigney left off, because Avery Huff is a special player. And when we were watching the videos of Huff, every single tackle is like that. Don't think that I just picked out, the tackles that he looks most. No. Every single tackle, when he gets there, he wants to inflict some pain.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go to Sam Brooks. Sam Brooks is you're probably looking at a Mike or a strong side linebacker, which I'm not sure we're going to use all that much anymore because of how the striker has worked out with us. We really like the whole idea of a striker. Sam Brooks, he had an injury, a pretty severe knee injury in his junior year, I believe, and then came back his senior year, and he's listed at, I believe, 6'2", 195. Let's take a look at his tape. He played defensive end mostly in high school.
Yeah.
You're going to see some agility, and you're going to see some thump with Sam Brooks. I don't know really how he's going to adjust. I know he has especially now that he's another year removed from that serious injury from the knee, he's going to show you he has quite a bit of athleticism. So there's definitely athleticism there to play linebacker. I just don't know, in a read and react type of situation, which that's what you do for middle linebacker. At defensive end, you contain for the run, you hold your end, or you rush the passer. Maybe you'll do a zone read, you don't see that very much in high school. But for the most part, that's what you do. At linebacker, at middle linebacker especially, you're going to have a lot more responsibility. How that looks like with Sam Brooks, I'm guessing. With Avery Huff, I could see it because he played, like I said, safety and linebacker and a little bit of everything, and play close to line of scrimmage. With Sam Brooks, I'm projecting. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Brooks video.
Okay. Yeah, so there you see him.
Chase, go ahead.
What I like about these clips that you're watching is that he has an eye for the ball. It just feels like wherever the ball is gonna go, I mean, he's just a magnet going towards it. There
you go, taking it to the house there.
Yeah.
So definitely his skill set, I think, translates to being a good linebacker. But again, when he's in a read and react situation, look at that. That's a great play on the running back there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talent there. But it's really, really, really hard for me to say exactly what Sam Brooks at linebacker is going to look like because I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I mean, like you said, he did have that injury. Even with that injury, he was Miami Herald all day 13. Even with that injury. So I mean,
the injury was a previous year. So the injury was his junior year, and and Miami stuck with him. And that's one of the reasons why he said, even though he did decommit towards the end of the year last year and then recommitted again. But his injury was his junior season. And he was very happy that Miami stuck with him through the injury.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's talent there. There's athleticism there. Obviously, at 6'2", 195, hopefully we won't have injury issues and we could redshirt him.
Yeah.
And give him another year of another year of recuperation from the injury he had, or distance, I should say.
Right.
And hopefully he's at 6'2", 225, 230 by next year. And then we'll see him play quite a bit.
Yeah. And with that being said, I always like pointing this out because sometimes, people, criticize, even Canes fans. They're like, we keep on missing on players. Sam Brooks is another one of those guys that, he's from down here. So, we should be able to secure the bag with him. And, we did over, schools like Florida, Georgia, Michigan. So that's another highly touted recruit that we were able to keep home. But let's move on to, I think, probably my favorite player of, now he's not necessarily a recruit coming out of high school, but let's start moving to safety and Bubba Bolden. There's something about Bubba, man, that I just freaking love. This guy just feels like he's all about the U, and I've always had, since like Sean Taylor, and Ed Reed, like I have this affinity for safeties, and considering his size and just his swag and the way he carries himself, and he's a hitter, and I love safeties that could hit, and Bubba's one of those guys, man. So this is my favorite guy coming in Surge 19. Yeah, he's a transfer, so but he still counts in my book.
Well, and the thing is, people talk, and I mentioned at the last podcast that I know a lot of U family, gives preference to South Florida kids,
right?
Okay, but since he committed to us, I don't know of any player who's repped the U more than Bubba Bolden, and he hasn't even reported yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And the thing is, when people, and the reason I mentioned about the U family liking South Florida kids is because people say, well, Gervin Hall and Amari Carter will be the starters. And I'm like, no, Bubba will be a starter. I think it'll be Gervin and Bubba are going to be the two starters. And Amari's going to play quite a bit. So, and I love Amari too. But Bubba, when people talk about Amari being a hitter, Bubba's 6'3", 200. And he has tremendous speed and tremendous range, which is what you want for a safety. But let's go ahead and go to the video so you get some sticks.
Yeah. Oof. See, and there he had a lot of interceptions. He had 11 interceptions and two for touchdowns at Bishop Gorman. So the INTs are there, but just look at the hits.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a ball hawk and he's a hitter.
And he lays people out. Look at that.
Exactly.
Look at that. And he plays, I'll tell you what, he plays with some serious meanness to him.
Yep.
And so I don't know where people got the idea that somehow or another Bubba was the rangy interception safety. And and I know St. Thomas Aquinas remembers Bubba intercepting a pass.
Yeah.
But he'll put the boom on you.
Oh yeah, he will.
And what else do you want from a safety? A guy who's a ball hawk, and by the way, he lays people out. Oh, yeah. And he's 6'3", 200 pounds.
Exactly. I'm excited, man. I can't wait for him to get here. I can't wait for him to get here.
That's the thing. And we talked about having 3 NFL safeties, 3 guys who are going to play in the league, and we definitely have that with mind you, we might have another 1 or 2 that we don't know about as of yet with Keontra Smith, who we're going to get to and stuff like that. But Bubba and Gervin, you have 2 guys that can go sideline to sideline, pick passes off, or lay people out.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you what, I know people said, well, we lost Jaquan and we lost Sheldrick Redwine. Okay.
Watch.
Okay. But I like what we have.
No, I love what we have. And we're gonna see it in full case showing. all 3 of them.
And that's not a knock on Jaquan or Redwine who gave us everything that they had.
I love them.
And we love them, and we're rooting for them in the NFL.
They're going to be playing on Sunday, so there weren't slouches. So
Well, and they're going to be playing on Sunday, like you said. The difference is, and again, this is projecting out. Okay,
right.
Bubba and Gervin aren't going to be picked on third day.
No.
They're going to be picked quite a bit sooner. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully, like I said, Jaquan and Sheldrick Redwine both prove them wrong, and both end up playing in Pro Bowls and having long and distinguished careers.
Let's
But
let's move on to Keontra Smith.
there we go. Let's go to Keandra.
Let's go ahead and play the clip first, and then we'll go ahead and comment.
All righty, let's go to Keandra.
And this is one of those guys. After we show the clip, I'm gonna read off some stats to you guys that really surprised me quite a bit when I was looking him up.
He is number one, by the way, 5'11", 195, and you will see him chase down the ball. And you saw the quarterback making a business decision when he got to Keandra. Keandra's a thumper. He reminds me a lot of Jaquan. Bigger, a little bit bigger, more athletic. He's probably going to end up being – he's 5'11", so he'll probably end up being 205, 210 when all is said and done. But he is a ball hawk. You know what? Not as much of a ball hawk as he is a thumper.
Mm-hmm.
But he likes playing close to the line of scrimmage. He does remind me a lot of Jaquan because of the fact he's an in-the-box type of safety,
right.
Who can lay the boom. But go ahead and read off the stats there of Keandra. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah, so 214 tackles, 66 of which were tackles for loss. He had 19 sacks with 2 interceptions, and that's in 25 total games. So that averages out to about 8.6 tackles per game. But the tackles, amazing, obviously. But what really took me back were the 66 tackles for loss and the 19 sacks. I mean, that for his position is just. I was like, I had to do a double take because I'm just like, wait a second, am I reading this right? Am I looking at the right player? So, man, yeah, the talent's there. I mean, when it comes to his size, there's different reports. Some people have him at 5'11", between 192. Some people have him already at 205. So I'm not exactly sure on where he's at right now, but that's pretty much the range on his size. 5'11", 6 feet, and probably 195, between 195 and 205. Who knows? Because I can't get an accurate number for some reason. So, but that's pretty much the size that we're looking at for him. But yeah, those stats jumped out at me.
I'm thinking of he's probably going to end up at 205, 210. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, I mentioned by mistake ball hawk. That's the one thing I was going to mention. I had in my notes he's not the type of ball hawk. He's not that necessarily. He's more of that in the box safety.
Right.
That's the thing where with Bubba and Gervin, I think they both can be sideline to sideline ball hawk type of guys that can pick off a lot of passes.
Mm-hmm.
With Keandra, even though he has, like I said, he looks like Jaquan 2.0 in that he's a bit of a bigger dude.
Right.
But I don't know if he is definitely an in the box safety. I don't know if he has that type of ball hawking ability where he's going to pick off a lot of passes.
Right.
So, it's
I mean that basically the stats that I was reading off basically support what you're saying. I mean, he had all those tackles for loss, all those sacks. He had two interceptions in 25 games. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. I still think. I mean, he was obviously he was a big time recruit. I love the way he plays. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that he's a thumper
for sure,
and he hits harder than his size
for sure.
Just like I love the way Jaquan played. So, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see how the defense develops with Manny being the head coach and Blake Baker taking over, even though Blake was a protege of Manny.
Right.
We'll see. what is it that they want from that safety position, and how that plays into the hands of Keontra going forward.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Gervin and Bubba especially, you're seeing two guys that can do it all. With Amari, he's a huge hitter.
Yeah.
But he's a guy who can play the nickel even if you need him to.
Absolutely.
So Keontra's a bit of a different type of player, so we'll see how he develops. But he is a thumper.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So let's go to the other. I think one of the biggest pickups, because he came on late. I don't think we really had a shot to get him, because it was looking like Bama for a long time, and then we started gaining a lot of ground, and that's Christian Williams.
And by the way, props to Mike Rumpf.
Yeah. For sure.
For those of you who haven't heard the story, Mike Rumpf went to Bama, and it's a town called Daphne, Alabama, where Christian Williams is from, and he stopped at a Waffle House to get something to eat, and he had his University of Miami. I think he had the polo shirt on, with the U.
Right.
And the people at the Waffle House were like, "Yeah, we know who you're here to see, but you might as well get in your car and turn around and leave, because you got no shot at getting him out of Bama."
Right.
And Mike Rumpf went, "All right, we'll see."
Yeah.
And Christian Williams signed with the University of Miami. So
yeah, he was 174th in the top 300 by ESPN, 160 by 247. He's an Under Armour All-American, 52 tackles, 8 INTs as a senior, first team All-State. He also played basketball. So, and like we said, I mean, we took him away from Bama. And obviously, Florida, LSU, Michigan, they all offered him as well. But the biggest surprise to me was Rumpf, taking him away from Saban. I mean, that was something that was big. And we'll see what happens when he gets here. I don't know, man. I know we got Ivy and Blades opposite of Bandy. What I like about Christian Williams is his size. I like his size. He's long, and the talent is there. So we'll see what happens when he gets here, man. We'll see
what do you have him listed at? What do you have Christian Williams listed at?
I could look it up in 2 seconds. For some reason, the notes that I have here.
Oh, I think I got it here. Listed 6'1", 182 is where he's listed at. 6'1", 182. And I
thought he was like 6. I thought he was like 6'2".
Well, you're going to see here on the clips, by the way. You want to talk about ball instincts and being a ball hawk? Yeah. Not only did he have the 8 picks, you're going to see in the clip they used him at wide receiver whenever they needed a touchdown.
Let's go ahead. Let's look at that. Let's go ahead.
You're going to see the clips, and here we go. All right, now watch how he baited on the first one. He baited the quarterback completely, and then makes the break and takes it to the hizzy.
Yeah, nobody was even chasing him there.
No, yeah, they knew it was over. And now you're going to see him at wide receiver.
Yep.
Look at that. Triple coverage, no problem, touchdown.
Yeah, that was a good pass by
now here comes the returning kick. Check this out. I want you to see the acceleration. And then once he breaks out, you think those guys have the angle on him? No, I don't think they do.
They thought they did.
Now watch, fade pattern, touchdown.
And that was another hell of a pass, man. I mean, that I don't know who that quarterback was, but he threw a couple dimes. We might have to see who that QB was, man, to add him to our quarterback room, because that was a beautiful fade route. So yeah,
but the touchdown, the QB did throw it to triple coverage, so that's all right. Bama can have him.
Well, when you have somebody like Christian Williams and that talent, though, I mean, you might as well. You could throw it's a triple, quadruple coverage, and he still might come down with it.
So. This kid's an athlete, like you mentioned. I think he also ran track besides the basketball.
Yeah.
I know, again, going back to that, a lot of people want to give preference to the local kids,
especially Blades, because of him. Obviously the legacy corner.
Oh, obviously. Well, I mentioned a lot of people talk about Takori, and we're going to cover Takori. But the thing is, if anybody's going to play early, it'll be Christian Williams, because he's college ready.
Yeah, Takori doesn't have that size yet. Williams does.
Yeah, I mean, Takori, I actually had him listed at what? his weight was listed at 148, if I'm not mistaken.
And we're hearing from other people that he's at what now?
Somebody said he was at 170, and I don't believe it.
I don't know about 170, man.
Like I said, maybe 165. I'll
Yeah.
give him that much. But Tokori's probably going to be at 180 before he really sees substantial. You know, when I say playing time, by the way, I do want to mention this, and I'm glad that came up. When I say playing time, guys, I don't mean now with the red shirt rule, you can play 4 games.
Right.
Okay. If we beat a Savannah State 77-0, I don't consider that playing time. When I say playing time, I mean
meaningful snaps.
Meaningful snaps in a game that matters,
yeah.
that it's still undecided, and guys are playing.
Exactly.
If one of our young cornerbacks is going to play, I think it's going to be Christian Williams.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. But
I think Corey, if he gets into the games, it'll be in a blowout type of situation, and no more than 4 games. I see him redshirting, and I do like Corey because he does.
Oh yeah,
he reminds me of Trajan Bandy.
Yeah,
you know,
he does.
And we'll look at his videos now, and there's no 148 in the way he plays, because he plays like he's 200 pounds.
Yep.
Because he chases down ball carriers. He loves contact. He is a dog in terms of the way he plays football.
Right.
So love to Corey. Don't get me wrong. It's just college level. It's different.
Yeah, I know, but
You're not
I think
play cornerback at 148.
I get it, but when we were doing our depth chart, Corey reminds me of like I said, Nigel last year. You know, where Nigel didn't have that size to play last year, frankly. I mean, we saw the talent there, just like we do with Corey. But I mean, if I don't see him being 170, to be honest with you. So I don't know how truthful those reports are, but I definitely, see him, as long as he works hard and he puts on, good weight, I don't see why he can't be, a huge part of the secondary, come next year. But let's go ahead and because this would be rounding it up for the defensive side of the ball for Surge 19. So let's go ahead and look at his tape very quick, so you could see some of the things that that we're talking about.
Now, this first one, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
In coverage by himself. Now, this is why I love this. I want you to see the way he chases this guy down. Look at the speed and the violence that he gets there. Now, you're going to see ball instincts. Look at that. It looked like he was a receiver.
Yep.
Until he starts going the other way.
Yep.
But you look at his size. He's a little guy. But look at this. Look at this. Look at the way he takes down this guy.
Comes off the block. Perfect.
Boom. Here's another one. Look at that. Splits the blocks.
He just turned it into a different gear there.
Look at this. Look at this one. Again, same thing.
He has that extra. He has like a gear there, man, that you're just like, he turns it up, quite a couple gears at least. When he sees that he has the angle on you, forget about it. You're not gonna get away from Corey. There's no way.
And he reminds me of Bandy in that, I never, when you watch Bandy play, you never see him. Of course, you see him as small because you see how shorter he is than the receivers, even, and stuff like that.
Right.
But when he comes in run support, he sticks his head in there and he gets guys on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm not even. It's not that I'm talking about a size issue. I wouldn't trade Trajan Bandy for any 6-foot corner that you want.
Yeah.
So I like Bandy. Yeah. And I think that I'm going to feel the same way about Corey, because that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
They're fearless. They're both fearless, and they play above their size. The only thing is, you look at Bandy, he's solid.
He's solid.
He's short.
He'll get there. Corey will get there.
He just needs time. He needs time, and he needs strength and conditioning and nutrition. Yeah. And I see Corey 180. Once, by next year, 175, 180, and he'll get on the field.
And that's good. And
I'm fine with that.
That's good enough.
Absolutely. I just don't see him playing more than 4 games. I do see him redshirting.
I see him redshirting. Assuming that, everybody stays healthy, of course. I mean, you never know what can happen, but yeah.
But now Christian Williams, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't redshirt. If he does play, I shouldn't keep saying I wouldn't be surprised because we got on the ESPN reporter for that. But
that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if Christian Williams plays corner for the Miami Hurricanes.
But I expect, like you said, if there is an injury, I think he's definitely going to play more than 4 games. Mm-hmm. If there's not an injury, we'll see. We'll see. If he was an early enrollee, I don't know if he doesn't get thrown into that mix with Ivy and Brooks.
Yeah. Just
Ivy and Blades.
Just some quick stats here to finish it up. As a senior, he has 65 tackles, 4 of which were for loss, with 5 interceptions. Number 230, the top 300 ESPN, and the 18th overall corner. He's a Under Armour All-American. So I'm excited about Takori. I just don't see him really getting on the field, this year quite yet. But go ahead.
And by the way, when he was the Under Armour All-American, Dion was there, and one of the guys he tweeted about was Takori because of how much of a dog he is,
exactly,
and how he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he doesn't look, he doesn't play like he's $150.
Exactly,
he plays like he's 200, and he lays the boom on you.
Yeah,
and you could see it's not just that he made those tackles. You could see, how can I put this, an attitude. Mm-hmm. In the way he was running after those ball carriers. It was with a fire that usually you reserve for linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
That play with that, oh my God, I'm gonna nail you when I get to you.
Yeah.
And that's a guy who's 5'10", 148.
Yeah.
So I love Takori.
What I saw in Takori in those clips that we showed is he shows discipline. And he lets the play develop for a second, and then you see him there just kind of like shadowing. And then, once he sees how that play is going to go, boom, he's gone, and he's making a play on the ball. So that's what I love about Takori.
Yep.
But, hey, dude, that wraps it up, guys, for the defensive side of the football for Surge 19. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're trying this whole video thing. We're going to do the same thing with the offense, so stay tuned for that. For those of you that haven't subscribed yet, do it. But for those of you that already have, man, hey, we appreciate it. We appreciate the support. The good comments, the feedback. We love talking with you guys. We just want to take this to you guys and talk about it. But we want to interact. So keep on commenting. Liking, sharing, doing all that stuff, man. We're just gonna keep on getting better and yeah, I mean, this is fun. I loved it. So what you think, big dog?
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely loved it. Love doing this. And obviously, we'll be getting better and better. There's plenty of room for improvement.
We're amateurs. We're still amateurs.
But please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. So it really would be helping us out. And, leave your comments, leave your, any constructive criticism, things, even if it's not a criticism, just things that you want to see. Yeah. If you want to see us do a show on whatever, or things that you think, stories that you want us to talk about or follow, and get research and stuff like that. So please let us know.
You brought up, we're obviously going to do the offensive side of the football for Surge 19, but once we're done with that one, we're actually going to cover the Miami Dolphins and how the draft went with them. That's probably going to be coming to you guys this weekend. So, like we said, this is not just a Miami Hurricanes channel. This is going to be a sports channel. So we're going to start covering more. We'll probably maybe start talking about the NBA once the Western and the Eastern Conference finals start. So, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna be doing a lot more than just Canes football, but at least for now, we covered the defensive side of football for Surge 19. Offense is coming up next, so be on the lookout for that. With that being said, we out.
It's all about the U, baby.
Let's go.